In 1967, the American alligator was placed on the Endangered Species List by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. After being on the list for 2 decades, in 1987, they were removed from that list after reaching remarkable numbers throughout the Southeast. Today's numbers have exploded to a point to where not only are we allowed to hunt the alligators, but we're also dealing with a lot of nuisance alligators, with the alligators' population expanding along with our population expanding. Back in 2006, a new opportunity hit the horizon, allowing hunters, residents of Alabama, to legally take an alligator. Since 2006, the zones have more than tripled and moved throughout the southern half of the state of Alabama. In the initiation of the alligator hunts in Alabama, we offered 50 tags that could be filled in the lower Mobile-Tensas Delta. Since then, we have increased the tag number to over 240 tags and allowing multiple zones to be hunted either in southwest Alabama, west central Alabama, and even at Lake Eufaula. Most all alligator hunts in the state of Alabama will take place out of a boat. Just a general list of some of the safety equipment that would be required in a boat would be a life vest for each person in your party, a throwable, a sound-producing device, and a fire extinguisher. A first aid kit is a vital piece of equipment that you will need on an alligator hunt. Other items that you may want to consider taking with you would be not only a phone, but maybe multiple phones. Keep these type of devices in a watertight box, if at all possible. GPSs are also a very important tool that you could have on the water. Your spotlights are going to be one of the more vital pieces of equipment that you will have on your hunt. Without a spotlight, it's going to be hard to find your alligators. Make sure you take multiple units with you on your hunt. Handheld spotlights that are rechargeable are generally more easy to use than ones with cables on them. If you have a spotlight with a cable, try to pick one that you can hook directly up to a battery. Headlamps are another important piece of equipment. Once you're hooked up on an alligator, a headlamp is going to allow you to be hands-free and do what you need to do to successfully harvest the alligator rather than having to worry about holding a spotlight. Remember that when you're hunting out of a boat, the boat needs to be a sufficient size for you, your hunt party, and then also the alligator that you're trying to put in the boat. If you're hunting down in the southwestern portion of the state, a lot of the zone is restricted to most boats other than airboats or maybe a mud boat. So make sure that you're aware of the habitat before you make your plans to go hunting. There are only certain capture methods that are allowed to hunt alligators in Alabama. These are handheld snares, snatch hooks, whether it be handheld or on a rod and reel, harpoons with an attached line, and bow fishing equipment with the line attached from the arrow to the bow or the crossbow. There's no use of bait allowed in the state of Alabama. If you're choosing snatch hooks with a rod and reel, make sure that you have multiple rods available in your boat. These rods should be equipped with a spinning or a bait casting reel that will allow you to cast over the alligator for some distance. Make sure you use braided line on your reels. Monofilament line usually doesn't last very long in the conditions that you're going to be hunting the alligators in. Harpoons will allow you the ability to get a more secure line on the alligator once the gator is brought alongside the boat. For your dispatching equipment, you have 2 options. You can either choose a bang stick with a .38 caliber cartridge or larger, or you can choose a shotgun. If you choose a shotgun, try to choose an older shotgun. Don't take your new Benelli out on an alligator hunt and risk messing it up. An older single shot H&R 20 gauge shotgun will be sufficient to dispatch your alligator with. If you do choose a shotgun, you're restricted using number 4 shot or smaller. Always make sure that the shotgun or the bang stick is unloaded and in a case until the alligator is restrained and ready to be dispatched. Alligators are going to be located by their eye shine. Once you've located an alligator, the size of an alligator can usually be estimated by the distance between their snout and the bottom of their eye sockets. This distance in inches is approximately the length of the alligator in feet. Generally, I try to get upwind of the alligator to where I can come down to it without making a whole lot of noise on the water. You got to remember too, everybody knows that alligator season is coming up, so this isn't the first time this alligator's been shined probably. Once you get within range of the alligator, try to get as many lines on it as possible. Make sure that you have at least 1 rod, if you're using a snatch hook, that you can cast a distance to get on the alligator quickly. Once you get that 1 hook on the alligator, try to get another line on him as soon as possible. If he gets close to the boat and you have a harpoon available, use the harpoon. It's a bigger line and you can get the alligator under control a lot quicker than you can with a smaller rod and reel. Once you get the alligator up close to the boat, generally he's pretty tired. At that time, you're probably ready to put the snare on him. Have your snares ready before you leave the dock. The snares can be attached to a rope, and that rope is going to be attached to your boat. The pole that you're going to use can be of just about any material that you choose. You want to rig your snare pole up to where the snare is on the end of the pole and attached with a piece of an electrical tape. To put the snare on the alligator, you want to slip it over whatever is available, whether it be a foot or a head, but put it on the first one available. When you put the snare on the alligator, try to pull the pole off the snare as soon as possible. The last thing you want is the pole flaring around next to your boat and still attached to the alligator. Once you have the alligator secured with your noose and alongside the boat, the animal is now ready to be dispatched. If you have a shotgun, now's the time to remove it out of the case. Make sure that the weapons are always unloaded before you're ready to dispatch the animal. Once the animal is up next to the boat and you're ready to dispatch it, pull your shotgun out of the case and load one shell into the chamber. Once the alligator is calm, look for the small spot about 2 to 3 inches behind the eyes. This is where you're wanting your shot placement to be. If you're using a shotgun, make sure that the alligator's head is out of the water and the barrel of the gun is out of the water. You don't want to make this mistake, I can assure you. One shot from the gun should be sufficient to dispatch the alligator. If you're using a bang stick, it's a little different than using the shotgun. The bang stick's going to have a safety clip in it. Make sure that the safety clip is always in place. Make sure there's never a chambered round inside the bang stick, even with the safety clip in it. Now that you've got your alligator up next to the boat, pull the safety clip out of the bang stick. Now you can slide your cartridge into the end of the bang stick. Once you've found your spot on the alligator, now you're ready to dispatch your animal. Now that your alligator's been dispatched, we're ready to put it in the boat, but there's a couple of things we need to take care of beforehand. Reach down with one hand and make sure that both jowls are closed. Pull the alligator's head up to the edge of the boat, and with your electrical tape, be very liberal and wrap the mouth closed to make sure that it stays closed. Now you're ready to put the animal in the boat. Get as many people to assist you as possible or as needed. Depending on the size of the alligator, you may need 4 to 5 people to try to get the alligator in the boat. Start with the head and gently roll the alligator from the head to the tail over the side rail of the boat. It's going to take some effort and it's not going to be easy, but you can get it done. I'm sure everybody's pretty stoked at this time. After you got your notification that you had a tag, you were sent a temporary CITES tag by the Department of Conservation. This tag must remain in the boat at all times during the hunt. Now it's time to apply this tag to your animal. Make a small incision at the base of the tail, usually about 6 inches from the tip. Look at the scales on the bottom of the tail. There should be a line there where the two scales are separated. This is where you're going to make your incision. Cut a 2 to 3 inch long incision all the way through the tail and slide your temporary tag through it. Be careful not to play around with this tag before you are ready to put it on the alligator. Once these tags are clipped, they're clipped and there's no undoing them. Leave it in the box until you're ready to put it on. Now slide it through the tail and clip it and you're ready to go. Make sure that this tag is applied to your animal before you move the animal. Immediately after you have taken care of the dispatching of the animal and have it in the boat, put the tag on it. You don't want to get caught going down the river with an untagged alligator. Now it's time to take the animal back to the check station. Wildlife and freshwater fisheries staff are waiting at the check station to collect some vital data from your animal. There's check stations located in all 3 hunt zones in the state. Data collected at these check stations will be such as weight, girth measurements around the belly and the base of the tail, a total length of the animal, the sex of the animal, and the location and the time that you harvested it. Other information on the data sheet will ask you questions like, how many alligators did you see during your entire hunt? So try to keep up with this data for us. It will help us in future years in managing this population. We're also going to ask how many people was in your party and if you had a good time. So be honest with us and let us know how you enjoyed the hunt. Once the data is collected at the check stations, the biologist at each check station will give you a permanent CITES tag. These CITES tags have a number applied to them. This number must stay with your alligator for now on. If you package the meat, make sure that you write the number on the outside of each packaging of meat. If you have a mount done, make sure the number is written on the mount. Just in case you was to get checked one day, you have to have this CITES number attached to every part of the animal. I hope that the information that we've shared with you today can assist you in having a successful hunt, and I hope to see you at the check station.